Hey everyone, it's Kellen here from RacerX, back again with another race examination video where we're going to briefly run through this Wilson situation because we've already talked about it a bunch this week and I'm kind of over talking about it, but let's go through it real quick. So here's a sequence of events. First of all, Ferrandis being lapped by Roczen and Webb. That'll be important later, but you can see Dean Wilson there. Then about 3 corners later, Wilson finally gets his first blue flag through the rhythm lane. The second one right after it, you can see Roczen's already right on him in this sequence. Here's the third one in the sand that he gets, and you can see Webb already coming through behind these guys. Then the fourth one out of the final corner before the finish line jump, but this is also weird too because the white flag waves just a split second later, so Wilson may not have seen that one. Then the fifth one he would have gotten would have been in the whoop section here on the right side, and the sixth one would be in the corner after where they lapped Ferrandis just the lap prior before pretty much all hell breaks loose. And you can see pretty much from here that he gets that blue flag, comes through this corner, gets this blue flag, and I'm hearing people saying like these flaggers need to get out and get onto the track, but then you complain about flaggers and track crew being on the track all the time. So I also see people saying that Roczen didn't hit Wilson, but he did on the wall jump right there. You can see the front tire getting locked up. And then Roczen just kind of poor line choice, goes far outside, and Webb just comes up the inside. I mean, that's good racecraft by Webb to react to what Kenny was doing and jump to the inside and just block him off there. And then Roczen tries to fight back by going to a different line and tripling through here, but just doesn't get close enough. Tries one more time in the last corner, comes over the finish line jump, and just loses out to Webb. But hear what Wilson had to say about this whole situation.
I didn't know it was them behind me, because what had happened was Dylan Ferrandis had just went down and then he got up, like just in front of me. He got up and then I got right in front of him, and then it was like 2 laps to go and he was charging to get back past me. But in between that, like I could hear Ferrandis behind me, but in between that time he must have got, the blue flag.
Yep.
And I, also got the blue flag, but not like I didn't see the blue flag, obviously. And I thought it was Ferrandis behind me. And, it was honestly just I messed up. And I take on the chin, and it sucked big time.
So yeah, Wilson obviously didn't mean to do it, just wasn't looking at the blue flags as well as he should have been. He thought Ferrandis was behind him, and then Roczen just paid the price for that situation. Wilson's apologized. Roczen has accepted the apology. It seems like they're moving on, and they're getting ready to go racing this weekend here in Indianapolis. I want to remind everybody that this video is presented by OnX Off-Road. Nowhere to go with the #1 off-road GPS app. Access 400,000 plus miles of trails and roads, open dates, and public lands. Download the OnX Off-Road app today. NBC picked up a really interesting conversation with Cooper Webb and his mechanic Carlos Rivera after the race that I wanted you guys to listen to because this is kind of interesting stuff that we don't always hear.
Got us on the lap. You say you got us on the laps. I did. No, you didn't. Not until 4 to go or 3 to go.
No, dude, I've said it before. A lot of times. From 9, line 8.
I didn't know about it.
So in this situation, Webb is asking Carlos, hey, you got to tell me more laps, or how many more laps are in the race sooner so that I can maybe mount a charge on Kenny with 8 or 7 or whatever laps to go. Instead, he found out with about 4 to go, and he started closing down, but maybe it was a little bit too late. Obviously, it worked out in the end. Now, in the 250 class, I wanted to talk about off the start here because Christian Craig and Colt Nichols both start out front on their Star Racing Yamahas, and Nichols actually told our Eric Johnson this later this week, the team kind of laid into us pretty hard after the heat race because we both started embarrassingly bad in our heat race. It was just not good. After the heat race and after we got back to the truck, the team was pretty vocal about it, and they were upset and told us we pretty much needed to get our together. Kind of interesting stuff here because the team, obviously just laying into their riders about not getting good starts, and I guess it did motivate them both because they both got great starts in the main event and eventually would take off and battle each other for the race win. Now I wanted to talk about Michael Mosiman kind of getting bullied around after this whoop section. First off, he kind of blocks Volan to the outside of the whoops, and Volan just jumps through the whoops up the inside and pretty much takes Mosiman down, but Mosiman does a nice job to stay up there. But later in the race, the same thing doesn't happen here. It's Lawrence down the inside, putting Mosiman down, kind of an aggressive pass, and I would have to imagine Mosiman not going to be too stoked about that if they find each other on the track in the future. Now, Nichols and Craig battling for the main event victory later on. I like this because Craig really just takes like 3 or 4 corners to size up, passing Nichols back for the lead. He goes to the outside after the sand here, just bites his time, cuts up underneath, then goes outside in here into the whoops to get a drive down the right side of the whoops to pass Nichols back because there's a better line down the right side to blitz the whoops, and just good racecraft there out of Craig. Now, it doesn't pay off in the end because Nichols eventually does come back here with a nice move up the inside, kind of use a lap rider as a pick to go on-off from the inside of the tables and inside after that, and Craig had really no response. Nichols able to take the win here, but I just like the racecraft that these two had. squad. Teammates, obviously, so maybe a little bit gentler with each other on the track, but still pretty good racing overall, and Nichols takes his first win of the year and shares the red plate with Craig moving forward.